guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host Miss KK and this is The Wave, your weekly show on all things money. On this show, we get to dissect topics related to personal, family and business finances, and my hope is that by the time we get to the end of this series, you'll be better equipped to make sound financial decisions. If you're new here, welcome and thank you very much for making time to stop by. Please consider clicking the subscription button in the comment below so that you can be notified every time we upload a new video. And if you are already a subscriber, thank you very much for your continued support and interaction in the comment box below. If you are following our business series, we've spoken about the top 2 reasons why your business could be failing, and we've also further added 3 other reasons why your business could be failing. And really our hope there is that if you are planning on starting a new business, you look at these mistakes and you learn from them, and if you're already into your existing business, you can see what adjustments you need to make in your existing business to try and turn around the situation and run your business successfully. So today we are moving away from the lessons that you need to learn when starting a business and to look at some of the challenges that a lot of small businesses face and what they can do to make sure that they also overcome those challenges. This is assuming you've already gone ahead, registered your business and are now successfully running a business, and what are some of the challenges that you face as a small business in particular, small to medium business in particular. So I believe the number one challenges that a lot of small businesses are are struggling with or are faced with is working capital management. So really in working capital management is the bloodline for the business. We all know without our customers, the business is not going to go anywhere, but there's more than that to keep your business running. To explain what a sort of working capital cycle means is that you as a business owner, you need to buy some sort of material or stock, or you need to pay some input labor to try and render the service. But let's just assume, to make it a bit easier, let's assume you are in the business of selling goods, not services. So to be able to sell goods, you need to find the supplier that is going to supply goods to you at a particular price and guaranteeing a particular quality. Then you bring that goods from your supplier into your business and possibly a warehouse of some sort, and you keep that inventory or the stock in your warehouse for as long as customers haven't bought that stock. And ultimately, if you do find customers, you sell these goods to the customer. So the working capital cycle is really the period between you buying the goods from the supplier, you keeping the goods in your warehouse, and you selling off the good to the customer. So why is this relevant? It's relevant because it all involves money. You need to pay the supplier based on the agreed payment terms. For a lot of small businesses, because they are starting off, they don't have enough capital to offer any sort of guarantee to the supplier, and they don't have enough collateral to sort of have credit terms with the supplier. So what ultimately happens is the supplier requires an upfront payment in order for them to be able to secure these goods. And if you don't have enough cash, it's very difficult to have enough money to pay your supplier on cash. But if you are lucky enough, you might find a supplier that is willing to give you a 30-day payment period. So that is the your supplier element of the working capital cycle. Then you bring that goods into your warehouse, and then we start talking about what is called stock turnover. Stock turnover is simply the number of days the stock sits in your warehouse before it's sold to your customer. Obviously, the quicker the stock turns, the quicker you are able to get the stock out of warehouse to the customer. And if the stock is with the customer, that means you can start collecting the money. Then we get to the third element of the working capital cycle, which is the supplier. I mean, not the supplier, but the customer payment terms. So you normally sell to these customers, and again, because customers always like bargaining with small business owners, you find also they would like to buy your things on credit. So you might end up in a situation where your supplier is giving you 30 days to pay your goods. Then you are keeping these goods 1 month into the warehouse, and the customer wants to demand a 60-day payment period. So really what we are trying to get to here is there a match between how long your supplier is expecting you to pay, how long your goods sits on the shelves and how long you're able to recover your money from the customer. So the ideal situation is you'd like yourself to be in is a situation your supplier has given you a long enough period, maybe let's say 90 to 120 days to settle, and then you are turning your stock very quickly, i.e. maybe just 1 month before your stock is sold out, and hopefully your customers are paying you in cash or at least in 30 days. If you end up in a situation like that, it's a perfect situation. But I have a friend of mine who is running a business who is struggling because he's buying cash at the suppliers. The stock is turning very quickly, but the customers are buying on credit and they're not keeping to the credit terms. So what you end up doing is your business is draining money because you bought these goods and now your money is tied in these goods. You've sold the goods to the customer, now your money is tied into this data. So what you are looking at is you constantly need money to pay the supplier, but the money from the customer is not coming in quick enough. So if you find yourself in a situation like that, what are some of your options to try and turn your situation around? Because if you find yourself in a situation like this, really, this cycle is very difficult to manage. So you have one option to try and negotiate a better payment terms with your suppliers. Suppliers are very reluctant to give, small business goods on credit because they know the chances for failing is very high, and they are also likely to lose money if you go out of business. So you need to build up a good track record and need to build up good accounting records. Again, it refers to a video from yesterday. If you have financial statement, you can present to the supplier and say, look, this is my business, this is how I'm performing, I'm doing very good. The only thing I'm struggling here at the moment is with my working capital. Suppliers are likely to hear you out, but it will take more than just, please give me an account on credit. And then you must try and drive your sales so that your stock doesn't sit too long in the warehouse. Because if your stock is sitting too long in the warehouse, that means your capital is just being tied out. That is now where your marketing comes in. You need to market in order for you to get your products known to the customers and for the customers to come to you. And you need to study your product demand. If you have a product that is sitting too long on the shelves, you must consider discounting that and just recovering maybe the cost plus any capital, any maybe transport cost that you've incurred, so that you can get rid of the stock and you can recover at least the initial investment that you've made. Plus, you need to now make you need to make informed decision in terms of buying or restocking in future, so that you don't stock products that are slow moving. Because if a product is slow moving, it's the market trying to tell you that there's not enough demand and it's perhaps time to deregister one of the stock and not purchase it in your next cycle. And then lastly, you need to give incentives to your customers in order to be able to purchase cash or to pay their account on time. So you can run things like you have a cash price and you have an account price, and if someone is buying on account, they must be prepared to pay you interest. Because if they are paying interest, then that means the customers would rather go for an option to buy cash to avoid paying a higher price. Or you can offer what is called settlement discount, or that if customers pay within a certain portion, they get a discount, and if they pay after a certain portion, their accounts start accruing interest and they also forfeit the discount. If you can really use combinations of if you can use any of this combination, not promising that it's going to solve all your problem, but it at least going to elevate the pressure from your business, because for as long as your working capital cycle is very tight and you have a mismatch between buying on cash and selling on credit, you are really going to struggle, except if you have some reserves, some saving that you can dip into, so that you can bridge the gap between you having to pay the supplier and you having to wait for your customer. So really, I'm introducing a concept, and again, it's one thing I want you guys that have businesses to explore. Go out and Google what working capital management is. What are the components of working capital, which is your supplier term, your inventory turnover, and your credit and your customer terms. And also Google what are some of the options on top of what I've mentioned here. How can you manage your working capital? Because really, working capital is the bloodline for any business. And again, this was all from today's session. Very brief, very powerful topic. And I wish you all the best of luck with your further research. If you have any comment, please comment. If you have any question, please post it in the comment below. I'll attend to it. And if you need me to expand on a particular topic, also include it in the comment below. That's all we had from the Wave. Again, please, if you haven't subscribed, click that subscription button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new video. And my hope is that we stay together and we learn together. As usual, please stay safe and sanitize.